Welcome to Tiny Japanese Snail Van, because today we're jumping straight over to the Horizon 5 Nissan Retro Rides car pack. Or to you and I, a bunch of K cars, but they're cool. And today we're starting out with this, the Nissan S-Cargo. Now do you understand the name? This thing boasts a whopping 72 horsepower, 85 foot-pounds of torque, while weighing just a shade over 2,000 pounds. So it's very, very light. And as for looks, well, it's certainly something, let's just put it that way. It does look very, very interesting. It kind of looks a little bit like a toy car, I can't lie. And I mean, just look at the front as well. The little headlights, they look like eyes. Going to the inside though, we've got not much at all, including, well, nothing. We also have ourselves a dial right in the middle there, and that's just for our speed, and that is it. But now let's go ahead and take a listen to that whopping just over 70 horsepower. So here we are now in the upgrade shop. We're going to jump straight over to conversion and over to engine swaps to see what we can throw in this thing, and we actually have a few to choose from. We have ourselves a 2 litre inline 4 VVT, we have ourselves a 2 litre inline 4 turbo. Alongside that we also have the inline 4 motorbike engine, the 1.6 litre inline 4 turbo rally, and also the 2 litre 4 rotor racing engine. If you understood any of what I just said, well done to you. If you want, you can also go ahead and chuck on either a turbo or supercharger to the stock engine. And this thing also starts out front wheel drive, but you can go ahead and make it rear wheel or all wheel as well. I think we'll take a look at that in a bit. As for aero and appearance, there really isn't much you can do to this thing. You can go ahead and slap on the Forza front splitter and tow hook, or you can also go ahead and put on a little piece of plastic at the back that they call the rear wing. In the meantime, our wonderful mechanic Mac has been very busy at making us a good old A-class race tune for us. Let's go ahead, bring up the share code. Feel free to go ahead and grab that one for yourself. There it is. It took a little bit of extra time today, but let's go ahead, download and install and see what we've got to work with. So with these upgrades, we're now a lot lighter at 1,772 pounds with nearly 600 brake horsepower at the top of A-class. This thing's going to be a menace. So now we've got those upgrades, here we are in the paint shop. We're going to jump straight to advanced, where we actually have 3 paint groups to choose from. Paint group number 1 being the main body of this thing. Paint group number 2, what's paint group number 2? Is it going to be the headlights? It is. It's going to be the headlights there. And then paint group number 3, what is paint group number 3? It is just kind of like the little sort of, I guess, plastic edges of this thing. Is it built? Does that look like something you'd find in a Happy Meal? In terms of manufacturer colours though, we have ourselves 1, 2, 3, 4 different ones to choose from, including this yellow, which is actually the yellow that we started the video with. Now, I've got to say, this little S-Cargo does look very interesting indeed. In fact, I've never really seen one of these in person because they only had a 2-year production run, I think between 1989 to 1991. So they are very rare indeed, and I also have the figures on just how many were made. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and chuck this thing into a race and see how well it does. And reinforcing the S-Cargo name, there's a tiny little picture of a snail on the wheel itself. And away we go. We've got quite a fair few vehicles around us. We've got a Reliant Supervan. That is fantastic. We've got ourselves a little S-Cargo. There's a PLP 50 there as well, and an AMC Gremlin. One of the more, I guess, actual cars that are here. I don't know. It's just weird because I didn't expect to go into this, see a bunch of Isettas, a Reliant Robin, and also, well, this thing. But what I can tell you is this thing is stupidly quick, and I think we're just about to overtake various assorted vehicles. In fact, we're now up in 5th. Can you tell I really don't know what to say about this thing? It's certainly strange, it's weird, but I love it. Now, I said earlier they had a limited production run between, 2 different years, 1989 to 1991, where a whopping 10,685 of these weird little machines were made and distributed throughout Japan, and I believe a few ended up being imported over here into the UK, although I've only found one for sale at the moment. And the price of that was approximately £5,000, or this in US dollar. In the meantime, we're now up into 3rd. Now, I want to know what's up front. I don't want to know what I'm going to try and catch here. I think it's a Volkswagen Thing, of which I've just missed entirely, and I don't know what's in front of that. And now, past the Thing we go. 2nd place is ours. And 1st place looks to be a little beach buggy, the little Myers Manx. Something else I just realised about the little S-Cargo van is the amount of headroom this thing has. It's strange, but brilliant. But the strangest the little van is, it's not quite enough to haul in the 1st place on this particular road, landing itself a 2nd place and a time of 2 minutes 11. So that wasn't quite the result we were after, a little 2nd place instead of a 1st, but still not too bad. Anyway, let's go ahead now and take a look at the Backstage vote, where this week we've got ourselves the Porsche 911 GT3 RS4 and the Mercedes-Benz E55 AMG versus the Ferrari 458S and the Audi RS6 from 2021. Now, these are very cool cars over here, but I think my vote has got to go towards the Porsche and, of course, that brilliant little Mercedes. Do you agree? Let me know. By the way, I wasn't lying when I said about the snail on the rims earlier. I mean, just look at that. In the meantime, though, we're going to jump straight back over to Max Mechanics because he's been very busy making us a drag build for this thing. There's a share code. Feel free to go ahead and grab that for yourself. We're going to do that and see what we've got. And knowing Max tunes, it's about to get really stupid, but really good. And indeed, it does look very, very good indeed. We're now a little heavier at 1,821 pounds with a whopping 720 brake horsepower, so this is going to be mad. So while this tune's saving, I went and looked up how many S-Cargos are actually in the UK, and the answer is a whopping 19. The rarest of them being beige, with only 2 left. Anyway, here we are now over at the back of the festival. Let's go ahead and see if we can get a wheelie check out of this thing. Do we get anything? Oh, we do. We definitely do. Okay, the snail van is... No, the snail van's got some party tricks. Then again, it wouldn't be a max tune if it didn't. Anyway, here we are now over at the edge of the drag strip. Let's go ahead, get this thing onto launch control, and away we go. A wheelie off the start as well. Like I say, this thing's got not a lot of power, but it is stupidly light, and I've got to say, it just looks funny, but I love it. I do. It's just quirky. It's one of the quirkiest cars we've had here. 163 through the camera and off the edge of the runway at a whopping 170 something. Oh, that's not gone well. Although with these videos, when does it ever? In the meantime though, now it's our turn to go ahead and take the excitable Happy Meal and go and make it probably the quickest thing on planet Earth. I think, you know what? Just for the funnies, we're going to go ahead and throw in a racing 4-rotor and make this thing all-wheel drive because I just know we're going to need it. Also, just like sitting here upgrading this thing, this is not a sound that should be coming out of this van. It just sounds so wrong, but so cool. Also, I've had a look at the tyres, right? They're 155s at the front, and we can go up only to 185s. This is mad. You know, the one thing I feel is missing from this van is a wide body kit. Other than that, I think this looks alright. Although now we get to the fun part of trying to tune gears in an engine I rarely ever use. So it's going to get very interesting very quickly. In the meantime, here is this week's Forzathon shop. We've got ourselves probably one of the best cars made, the Subaru 22B, a Horizon Backstage Pass, the Macarena Emote, the Liberty Drift Truck with a stupidly long name. We also have the bass drop car horn, which sounds a bit like this. I don't know if that's a bass drop or a bass throw, but we've got that. Going over to here, we've got the Horizon Super Wheel Spin and the regular Horizon Wheel Spin as well. And now, out to the motorway. Although now we get to play a game of how close do we get to the motorway great. And today we still missed it. Anyway, now here we are over at the edge of the good old motorway. Let's go ahead and get ourselves on launch control, and away we go. We've got the 4-rotor power of this thing. You know, when I woke up this morning, this is the last thing I thought I'd be driving, but I'm loving it. Do you get where I'm going with this? Anybody? No? Okay. And out of the speed zone at 192. You know, I feel like this thing needs some more power. Give me a minute. Right, let's get this, and a lot of these. Yeah, that looks better. Right, take 2, and away we go. Honestly, this already feels faster. And out we go, 193. Yeah, I think that was an improvement. Right, now time for the downhill and the speed camera. Let's get going, tiny snail van. And any second we should hopefully see. There's the camera, 195. Going downhill now, 196, 197, 198. Do we get 199? We do. Do we break 200? Not quite, we are 1 mile an hour away from that, but if you manage to get 200 out of this thing, do go ahead and let me know in the comments. In the meantime, there's the sign on the brakes to go. How good are the brakes of the tiny little S-Cargo? You know what? That's actually kind of half decent. But one question still remains. If you've seen these videos, you know exactly where this is going. And if you answer sideways, you'd be correct. Here's the drift zone. Let's go ahead and throw this thing in and try and see just what we can get out of this tiny little thing. I'm not exactly expecting much out of this thing, given it is just a tiny little Kei van, but apparently 41,873 proves me wrong. You know, I really wasn't expecting that. So I guess now let's go ahead and chuck this thing in for round 2. 41,800 to beat, and this thing can barely get through a turn. I don't think we're going to match that going back, but hopefully above 30k. There we go, 33,700. I still can't get over that first run though, that was mad. So there we have the little Nissan S-Cargo. It's cute, it's quirky, it's not exactly the fastest thing on the planet, but I think just on coolness factor alone, this thing is brilliant. And I think in the hands of the right driver, this thing will certainly have quite a lot of potential. Like I say though, this is from the most recent Nissan Retro Rise or Nissan Heritage car pack, and I've got to say, it's very, very interesting, and there are a few other cars from that car pack as well, and if you want videos on those, go ahead and let me know in the comments. One of them I might have even seen in person. In the meantime though, thank you very much for watching. Feel free to go ahead and like, share, comment, subscribe, all that cool stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Tech out. See ya! This has to be the dumbest thing I've driven, but I love it.